knew you wouldn't understand. Indeed, I don't. I never will. But I do know what it's about. Your great causes, your wars, your struggle to save the world, your end which justifies the means. Today, we continue our discussion on the Witcher's philosophy. Specifically, we're discussing what is worth fighting for. So I hope you stick with us here on Circle Theory.
Toss a coin to your Witcher, oh Valley of Plenty.
Today, I want to explore what it means to fight for something and why we should. What are the ideas, arts, and philosophies that we should keep? This is something that we ended on last week as we were discussing what we might want to let go of. So if you did not catch that, I hope you'd go back and take a look. So here we're moving on to the idea of what is worth fighting for. In the text, we see them say, "Pick up your ears, Philippa. Can you hear those voices, that yowling? Those are the cats fighting for a great cause, for indivisible mastery over a heap of rubbish. It's no joking matter. Blood is being spilled." Geralt is actually very anti-war and does not seem to like fighting despite being a witcher and a great warrior. This is something that is very important to him. He sees them all fighting over something that's decaying underneath it. The ideas they're fighting for don't matter, and they are just losing a valuable life. They're spilling valuable blood, as Campbell would say. And so we need to look at what is actually fighting for, because for the Witcher, it is almost never each other. He is painfully neutral across the board. Graveairs like ghouls and other monsters in this category do not have their own ecological niche. They are relics from the age of interpretation of spheres. Killing them does not upset the order and interconnections of nature which prevail in our present sphere. In this sphere, these monsters are foreign, and there is no place for them. Do you understand? So what we're told here very clearly is that the things that are worth fighting are the things that so clearly no longer have a single place in this world. They have become so disconnected that they are the remnants of a dead thing that has died and been reborn, died and been reborn again. It is the double death. It is the ancient flaws and systems that have been proven relentlessly over and over again that they have no place in this world. There is no niche for them. There is no place for them to operate. Anything they touch is pure decay and disruptive to the actual flow, to the balance and order of this world. It is in such an affront to the functioning of our existence that there is no place for it here. It cannot be allowed to exist. This is what the Witcher fights. And we see that in The Last Wish and in The Sword of Destiny. In these prequels where the Witcher is unwilling to fight what is perceived as a monster, he lets live what has a niche in this world. He doesn't just destroy them for the sake of destroying them because they're perceived as monsters. This is the idea that the work was started with in those prequels. Specifically, that even beyond the divides we have between us as people, there are even some relics that deserve empathy, and they are not yet the dead returned back, that they still have a place. And it's almost in contradiction to some ideas, that we want not necessarily have an idea worth fighting for. Instead, we just know that we go out and fight what has no place left in this world. And that we will let the dead die. This is almost in contradiction to Campbell's heroes myth, which is just a constant shift and disruption and status quo, and to go and change and bring back, to go and fight and bring something to the world. This is a maintenance. This is the dirty job. This is almost the true definition of an anti-hero, of the individual that does not go to bring forth something new. They fight to destroy what is so clearly removed. And I find at this point it to be rather pessimistic. We get very little philosophical framework besides letting something new come into being of what we should actually fight to keep. And I see this framed in a very powerful and interesting mechanic, and that is the discussion of magic and the magic of this world, and that perhaps it is worth fighting for. The inherent magic of the experience of the human condition. And so this is where we pick up next week as we discuss magic and the Witcher's philosophy and the magic within this world. So I hope to catch you next week here on Circle Theory.
From when the White Wolf fought a silver-tongued devil, his army of elves at his hooves did they revel. They came after me with masterful